Celtics fans, huge win last night to even up the Eastern Conference Finals at 2 games apiece. And if you're sitting at home wondering how you can help the cause to get the Celtics back to the NBA Finals, well, maybe you can. Like this video, and hey, don't be that guy. Maybe you're superstitious and you're like, well, if I would have just liked that video that one time, maybe we would have won. So hit that thumbs up icon if you want the Celtics to beat the Heat and advance to the NBA Finals. We'll have some keys to victory for Game 5 coming up later in the video, plus some trade buzz for this offseason. Stay tuned for that coming up right now. Welcome into Celtics Today. I am Harrison Graham from Chat Sports. Could some blockbuster trades be on the table for the Boston Celtics? That's how we kick off today's show. Could the Celtics trade for Kevin Durant this offseason? Let's go ahead and explore that here on Celtics Today. NBA Analysis, our good pals over there, mocked a trade sending Durant to Boston. Tensions in Brooklyn certainly high right now after yet another failed season. You traded James Harden mid-year, Kyrie drama. Could Durant want to play elsewhere? Would he approve a trade to a different team? Now, obviously, trading for him would cost quite a bit, even though he's into his 30s now. But he's obviously one of the best players in the world when he is fully right. So here was the NBA Analysis trade idea. Kevin Durant to Boston for Jaylen Brown and Al Horford. And now this is one on the surface where you're like, I've said for a while, I'm not trading Jaylen Brown. But would I trade him and an aging Al Horford for KD to pair with Jason Tatum? I mean, I might. I probably would have to say yes if I'm not giving up any picks to get KD to Boston. But on the flip side, you got to be thinking there's no way Brooklyn does this, right? They're not going to punt on the Kyrie KD era already, are they? Well, you never know. It is the NBA. Weirder things have happened. Now, Kevin Durant is just a flat-out bucket. Averaged 30 points last year on 52% from the field, over 38% from three. He is the best isolation scorer I have ever seen, and I think there's a strong argument to be made that he's the best scorer in NBA history. Now, obviously, if you do this, you're trading 2 good players for one, including one player in his early mid-20s in Jaylen Brown. That is still ascending. He's your Robin to Jason Tatum's Batman, but Kevin Durant's a Batman too. You'd be teaming him up with Tatum. You'd have 2 of the top 8-ish players, whereas right now you have 2 of the top 20 players probably with Tatum in the top 10, Brown somewhere in the top 20. It's a short-term versus long-term play. I mean, that's really what this comes down to. Could come down to how the rest of the Celtics playoff run goes if you would consider breaking up Tatum and Brown. Now, would you trade for Kevin Durant? Now, I've said I don't want to trade Jaylen Brown, but KD is one of the few people I might consider it for. Type Y for yes, type in for no. Would you trade for Kevin Durant? Next up on NBA Analysis trade ideas for the Boston Celtics, they brought back the Damian Lillard trade rumors, which have, of course, been circulating for the better part of a year at this point as, things have changed in Portland. Now they've traded C.J. McCollum. Now he maintains and they maintain that they want to keep him with the Blazers. They want to continue to build around him out west. If teams are interested, they're going to call, right? And if Boston wants a veteran guard, Damian Lillard could be attainable. So here was the trade idea that they cooked up for Dame to Boston for Jaylen Brown, Daniel Tice, and 2 first-round picks. Now, think of this on the surface. NBA Analysis on the first trade had KD to the Celtics for Jaylen Brown and Al Horford. Now, I know Daniel Tice and 2 firsts isn't the player that Al Horford is, but 2 firsts and Daniel Tice or Al Horford, I'll take Al Horford, and this is for Dame, not for Durant. I'm saying no to this trade, and I'm pretty confident Boston would say no as well. Dame wasn't having that good of a year before the injury this past season. Kevin Durant is a different player compared to Damian Lillard. I would not trade Jaylen Brown to get Dame. Now, if you could get Dame without having to trade Jaylen Brown, that's a different conversation because I think a big 3 of Lillard, Tatum, and Brown would be absolutely lethal, but I'm not dumping Jaylen Brown in a Damian Lillard trade. I mean, honestly, if you ask me straight up, Jaylen Brown or Dame, I might say Jaylen Brown just on the surface, and he's younger and cheaper and a better fit possibly with Tatum, much less giving 2 first-round picks in a trade as well. So I don't think this trade idea makes any sense. If you're trading Jaylen Brown, it better be for a top 5 player in the world. Would you trade away Jaylen Brown. Type T for trade, type P for pass. Again, if it's for someone like Durant, that's a different conversation. But in general, on the surface, would I? Probably not. It would have to take something special to get him away from Boston right now. Now, Celtics fans, if you want to go bet on Game 5 or any other playoff game during the NBA playoffs, BetUS, our sportsbook partner, the best place to do it, especially if you don't have an account yet, because we have a deal for you to get a 125% deposit bonus. All you have to do, go to chatsports.com/bet. Promo code is chat125. Put down $100. You get $125 for free. Here's our NBA updated title odds. The Warriors favorites at -160. Boston at +225 after that win last night. Miami +500. Dallas +6,000. The team has never come back from 3-0 down. So, hey, if you want to throw $5 on the Mavs to make history, it would pay out a lot. There's no doubt about that. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code is chat125. Harrison Graham here, getting you guys ready for Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals, Celtics against the Heat. This, of course, comes off the heels of a dominant Game 4 victory as these bizarre playoffs continue with games that aren't that competitive. Boston never trailed in this one. 17-1 start, and they never looked back. Jason Tatum was terrific, and quite frankly, the Heat were terrible in this game, especially their key guys like Jimmy Butler, Victor Oladipo, Duncan Robinson were decent off the bench, but this wonky series just continues, man. I mean, this is one of these weird playoff series that you just can't really find momentum in. You're thinking after Game 1, okay, Miami's got momentum. Okay, Boston steals home court. Then they give it right back. And then Smart's hurt for Game 4. You're thinking, oh, it's going to be a tough one. You blow out Miami. I mean, will someone take hold of this series? I don't know. This feels like one of those weird 7-gamers that's going to happen. Jason Tatum, I felt like he would respond after a terrible Game 3. He did. 31 points, 50% from the floor, grabbed 8 boards, 5 assists. He did a little bit of everything on a night where not many players were shooting the basketball well. And then Jimmy Butler had by far his worst game of the playoffs. 6 points, 7 rebounds on just 21% from the floor. So it was nice to see him have an off night. I don't think that will continue. As far as Marcus Smart goes, we'll see for Game 5. According to Ime Udoka, pretty bad ankle sprain he's dealing with. That was already dealing with the foot problem as well. So that's going to be a challenge also. What is your confidence in the Celtics winning this series, closing it out? Scale of 1 to 10. I mean, is it like a 5 or 6? I mean, like I said, neither team, I don't think either fan base should be incredibly confident. Look, 2-2 series, best of 3, you'll take your chances, but momentum has not existed between Boston and Miami. Let's break down some keys to victory of Celtics against the Heat in Game 5 as the series shifts back to Miami. This one tied at 2 games apiece. My first key, you got to bring the energy early on the road. Obviously, Boston was able to do that in Game 4, getting that 17-1 lead and never looking back. But that's at home. I'm not expecting to go up 17-1 on a road playoff game or really any other game. That just doesn't happen. But bring the energy, bring the intensity early, get some early stops, get some early leakouts as well, easy baskets, because this has been a series where easy buckets have been hard to find. So I think you got to match, if not surpass, Miami's energy early, especially because you know the Heat are going to be fired up after laying an egg in Game 4. Key number 2. Get to the free throw line. That was a huge win for Boston in Game 4 at the line. I think they were 32 of 38. Miami had less than 20 free throw attempts. I don't expect that disparity to continue. I don't think you're going to get there 20 more times than Miami, but can you get there 10 more times? Can you get 30 free throws to their 20? I think something like that goes a long way. If you can get to the line, get free points in these type of series where, again, it's defensive oriented and it's this, ground and pound type of basketball where, there's not these huge runs. It's, first to 90 points is kind of winning these series. So we'll see how that plays out. But I think you got to get some easy points at the free throw line. And then key number 3, and I think this would be true for both teams, defense, defense, defense. This is the ultimate defense wins championships type of series. Sure, you got to make timely shots. You got to find easy baskets. But if you keep getting stops like the Celtics did the other night, it's hard to win when you don't score. And Miami could not score in Game 4. So if you hold them to, 95 points or less, which that's kind of been the number. If you're holding a team to 90, 95 or less in the series, you're going to win the game. So that's got to be a mark and a bullet point for Ime Udoka. Okay, so there you have it. My keys to victory for Boston. Who you got in a critical Game 5. Type C for the Celts, type H for the Heat. We'll see what happens, and we'll see you before Game 6.